The NFL is a very interesting league. It's so popular that a player can have a successful season and can still receive major criticism online through fans and media alike. But that doesn't mean they're a bad player. But it just means they're under pressure because, quite frankly, the NFL is a not for long league. It's a what have you done for me lately league. They may have had great seasons last year, but coming into this one, you need to produce again or else the criticism will get louder. You may have struggled last year and you need to get right now before your contract expires. There's so many things in the NFL that counts for under pressure. So today I want to talk about my 5 players who are premium players that will be under pressure this NFL season. So let's jump into it. It's weird to look at the MVP runner-up and say, that guy's under pressure this year. But it's the truth. I mean, Drake Maye was amazing in the regular season last year, but deeply struggled in the playoffs. He went up against some really good defenses in his defense. He went up against the Chargers, who had Jesse Minter, one of the best defensive minds in the game of football. The Texans, who had the most terrifying edge rushing duo I've ever seen. And the Broncos, who also have a really good front seven and are very good at getting pressure on the quarterback. And then they went up against that Seahawks defense, which wasn't even fair when you look at the Patriots' offensive line. And that's really the issue that the Patriots had and Drake Maye mainly had in the playoffs. His offensive line was dreadful, and the Patriots have gone out to try and fix that, correct that. Caleb Lumo being the first-round pick, you're going to move Will Campbell most likely into guard, which maybe is the best option for him. I'm still not 100% certain if guard is the best position. If you want to move him, I think he should move inside to center, but that's a story for a different day. Overall, though, you're trying to establish Drake Maye's offense line and just have it be better, because in the playoffs, we saw how much it struggled. In any quarterback, when they see pressure, they're going to collapse. And then especially when you add on the fact he had a shoulder injury during the playoffs, and that really hurt him because he took a lot of unnecessary hits because the offensive line kept on getting caved in. But you look at this season, the biggest critique people will have on him is he's called the schedule. They don't have the worst teams in the NFL they're playing. They're playing good teams. They're playing a first-place schedule. He's not going to be able to bounce back. He's not going to be the same Drake Maye. All I will say to that is Drake Maye, we saw in the regular season, had good protection and wasn't against the best pass rushers in the NFL. When the pass rushing got better, Drake struggled because his offense line caved in and gave him issues. It really wasn't as much as these defenses are awesome, which they played against some awesome defenses, but Drake Maye's offense line let him down. If he has good protection this year, he'll be the same Drake Maye we saw in the regular season and most likely have a better postseason. But if that offense line does struggle, he will struggle just like any quarterback would, because that offense line was so brutal in the playoffs. It needs to be corrected for Drake Maye's future and the Patriots' future as well. Baker Mayfield is under pressure for 2 reasons. Number 1, his head coach Todd Bowles may not see the end of the season as head coach of the Buccaneers, as he is extremely on the hot seat after major collapse last season, which the Buccaneers should have made the playoffs. You also have the fact, though, that Baker Mayfield is not under contract for the 2027 season. So not only is he playing to stay a Buccaneer, he is playing for a brand new deal. And if a new coach comes in, it's very realistic that he may want his own guy. He may want to go with a young guy. He may want to go with a rebuild for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as they do have some older players. And as we saw, Levante David just retired. The Bucs are going a new youthful direction. Baker Mayfield is not youthful. He is over the age of 30. His prime is in his past. He's still a talented quarterback, yes. He will still win you football games, yes. But he's not necessarily the guy that teams will look to build with for the future. And you look at all that on paper, the Buccaneers are not the best team to go for it all right now. Just losing Mike Evans, Levante David, they're not in the win now mode. They're in the build for the future mold, and Baker Mayfield does not fit that timeline. But that being said, he's still a very talented quarterback that has a very accurate pass and a very good deep ball, and has had spectacular performances with the Buccaneers, and has still a pretty talented offense built around him. If he can overachieve the Bucs this year and they make the playoffs and Todd Bowles stays, there is a realistic possibility that the Buccaneers go all in the 27 season and will try and win the Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield. But if not, do not be surprised if Baker Mayfield is not a Tampa Bay Buccaneer at this time next year. Jaylen Carter is one of the most talented interior defensive linemen in the entire NFL. But rumors popped up this offseason of the Eagles wanting to trade him, perhaps. And that raises my eyebrows, as I'm sure it raises everyone's eyebrows, as Howie Roseman is, if not the best, one of the very best general managers in the game of football. And if he doesn't want to give Carter a contract extension, what does that say about Jaylen Carter? Now, on the field, Jaylen Carter wrecks offenses. He provides great interior pressure. He's great on rush defense. Eagles with him on and off the field is just drastically different defensively. And we look at that and still wonder, why would the Eagles want to move off him? Is it character concerns? As we've all known, Jaylen Carter has had those, including being ejected in the opener last season against the Cowboys for a spitting incident. But also another factor is the Eagles did just extend Jordan Davis, and they don't have a lot of money to really throw around. They have so much money tied up in void year contracts with how they manipulate the cap system that it's finally catching up to them. That they can't even trade A.J. Brown right now until after June 1st, or else they'd be in cap purgatory. Not even hell. That's how bad it would be. Jaylen Carter is going to demand a lot of money. And depending on where you can pay him, how you can structure the contract, the Eagles may not be able to retain him, which would not be the best case scenario for Jaylen Carter, as he currently works under Vic Fangio, one of the best defensive minds of all time. The Eagles have a great defensive structure built around him. He may go somewhere else, and it may not work out at all. The Eagles are the perfect spot for Jaylen Carter, but it sounds like they don't plan to give him that big-time contract extension. He is on a fifth-year option that was picked up, and he will be a free agent sooner rather than later unless they trade him and someone extends him. And in my opinion, Jaylen Carter should do everything in his power to stay with the Eagles because it's the best for his long-term career, as he'll have the most success in this defensive structure. Bryce Young has been appearing on this list ever since his rookie season, because his rookie year he did not perform up to the expectations of a number one overall pick. The following year, there were struggle signs at the beginning half of the season, but by the end, he started to turn the corner. And last year, we saw the progression of that, having some truly amazing games against the Falcons and Rams, and then the wildcard game against the Rams again. Bryce Young has showed progression, which is what you want in a young quarterback. But the big question comes down to, when will his contract get done, and if it gets done in Carolina? The Panthers have no reason to pay him right now, because what if he underperforms this upcoming year? What if he falls off and it's the same Bryce Young we saw at the beginning parts of Dave Canales' tenure and his rookie season? Then you can't pay him, or you're saddled with a very bad contract that you can't get out of. Or what if he overperforms? What if he has a better season than last year and you have to pay more money? It's a very interesting and delicate situation the Carolina Panthers are in right now with Bryce Young, and Bryce Young's in the same situation right now. If he would accept a contract right now, what if he overperforms that deal and he really wants to get paid more money? Or what if he waits? What if he plays it out and he underperforms? There's so many risks here that the pressure is not only for Bryce Young, but for the Carolina Panthers organization as a whole. And overall, I'm very curious to see how this plays out because I don't really have a good sense. Bryce Young was one of my favorite rookie prospects coming into the NFL, but he underperformed so drastically his rookie year, I had to sell a lot of stock. And then last year, I realized, oh, this is the Bryce Young I was expecting. He sees his big, tall Tet McMillan. He sees guys all over the field better. He just doesn't see the middle of the field, but, I mean, what can you do when he's that short? Bryce Young has progressed. He has the game of football down to a science. He's very cerebral. He's very smart. Everyone has called him a supercomputer back there, and that's what he plays at his best, is as that supercomputer that's just throwing the ball over the field. Drew Brees was never the most talented arm in the NFL, but he had a supercomputer brain. Bryce Young is similar to that, but can he ever reach those heights? I don't know. Can he ever reach Super Bowl? I don't know, which makes the entire situation very interesting when you're an outsider looking at the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young. CJ Stroud's the guy who inspired this list. He was always going to be the last guy I was going to mention because he is by far under the most pressure than anybody else in the NFL this year. Because not only do the Texans have a Super Bowl roster, but CJ Stroud is playing for a contract. He's in the same situation as Bryce Young. But unlike Bryce Young, instead of progressing, he has regressed. His rookie year was amazing. His second year, it's okay. Last year, mainly the back end, when you look at the playoffs, it was bad. And it's cause for concern for the Texans and their fan base. And I will defend CJ Stroud here. I think a lot of his issues are offensive line play was atrocious last year for the Texans. It made the Patriots' offensive line look better. That's impossible to do, but they did it. The Texans have a talented roster. They have good people at the receiving core. They have good running backs. They have a loaded roster. The defense is amazing. It got better this offseason, which should scare everyone. The big question is, can this offensive line hold up for CJ Stroud to be the CJ Stroud we saw his rookie year? And if they can do that, CJ Stroud will not only have a chance at playing the Super Bowl, he's going to get a nice contract extension that will take care of him for a long period of time. But if they don't, if CJ Stroud struggles, he might be playing in a different uniform next year. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, for example. They have Aaron Rodgers brought back. They have Drew Aller, Will Howard. CJ Stroud would be by far the best quarterback they've had in a while. He's better than modern-day Aaron Rodgers. But the Texans can't afford to lose him because they have a good offensive line. CJ Stroud leaves, and he all of a sudden performs how we all saw his rookie year. We all know why. It's the Texans organization, which is a lot of bad stuff for the Texans. Would put that front office, that coaching staff, everyone under insane amounts of pressure. So that's not only why I'm looking at Stroud as the guy who's under the most pressure. The Texans are by far the team under the most pressure because he is the possible best quarterback that can be on the market next year. He is possibly a guy that can turn a franchise around next season if the Texans move off him. He's that talented. His arm is that good. His issue has been this offense line is so bad because when Stroud has time, when he's protected, he can sling that rock all over the field. He can make great plays, and he will become a top 10 quarterback in the league. The Texans just need to keep him upright. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you'd share this. I greatly appreciate it. And if you have any thoughts, anybody I missed under the most amount of pressure in the NFL season this year, comment down below. I'd love to hear everyone's opinions. And if you just have any disagreements of, hey, this guy shouldn't be under pressure, I would love to hear those as well. But I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing day.